everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Knowledge Business Momentum. This is episode 7. Today, we are going to talk about a very common thing we see. We see a lot of business owners who don't own a business, they just have a job. And I know that is something um, odd to hear. Of course, you have a job, right? You have a commitment to the business, but no. It's mostly dictated by your actions. Your actions when you have a job are different than when you own a business. You work in the business when you have a job. You work on the business when you own a company. So we're going to kind of take that and we're going to expand it and we're going to look at it from a couple different angles. So yeah, come along with us on this journey.
Let's ride the wave.
Let's ride the wave. That's actually a great segue
Yes.
into the first thing, the silver tsunami.
Yes, the silver tsunami, for the people that don't know, just making sure I read this correctly. It's the massive wave of baby boomers born between 46 and 64 who are now reaching retirement age. And estimates range from 10,000 to 12,000 people a day reaching retirement age, which means that there's a significant amount of baby boomers that own companies and own jobs that have no succession plan. And so there's people that are laundromat owners, accountants, donut shops, like lawn automotive painters, any kind of industry you can think of where like an older person has worked for a significant amount of time to build value. There's no one in their family or succession to take it over. And so a lot of these businesses are just closing. And so we are all, we work together, KBM and Associates. Thanks. But we've also all dabbled in our own entrepreneurial ventures. And that's because there's just so many opportunities for someone to come in and take over or grow a business and, succeed. And unfortunately, there's too many of the silver tsunami that worked really, really hard for many, many years to build a successful career, but they didn't actually have a company. And so we want to talk about what's the difference between having a company and having a business. For me, the delineation is if you can take 30 days off and the company still maintains operation or grows, then you have a company. That means you have staff, you have processes, you have demand in place that allows you to transition into retirement and still have some passive income. If you are somebody that can't take 30 days off of your job or the company fails, like if you're a painter or you're an accountant, then what you have is a very good job. And having a good job is great. Like there's, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We need the security, but when it comes time to retire, like what are you supposed to do with all that potential? Like you want to use your nest egg and sell it to somebody or, give it away to a family member or give it away to your business partner. But there's too many people that have spent their whole careers just working. And then it comes to the part to where the go-go generation, like go-go years, let's get up and go and do all the things we wanted to do while we were working. Um, you're just kind of stuck with like, hey, we had this great idea, but I don't want to do it anymore. So many businesses are closing that it's really kind of a shame.
Okay. So these companies, they're closing not for lack of effort. They're closing because they weren't managed to generate value. Effort and working in your day-to-day job creates income. Now you can do whatever you want with that income, and I'm assuming most of these business owners, they have saved some of that income. What they didn't focus on was generating a business that has value, which means you have an asset that you can sell. And when you can sell that asset, let's say you did make an income and you did save 10% of that income and you invested it properly, you have a pretty big nest egg. And you have this business that doesn't require you, that works autonomously, that you can sell and enhance your nest egg by another $12 million. You're going to be living a much greater retirement than you would if you just had your income. So
$12 million better be a great retirement.
yeah, yes.
Just saying. Like,
If
that's
the
a
world
big
keeps
ass
going the way it
number.
is, it might not be though.
Yeah.
Right.
So
If that's not enough, then let's talk about why.
Yeah.
Because we all agree that should be
That
a
should
good
be enough.
number.
yeah, that should be a good number. But
That's a good
but my point is, why would you work in a business every day and not increase that business's value and put your business in a way where you could sell it, you could own or finance it and take some passive income. You could do so many different things to enhance your retirement beyond just taking an income and saving it. And I think that's the mentality when we talk to business owners. We try to shift their mentality of, oh, I just install this part every day and I can do that and I can train people to also install parts, but I want to lead them and I want to manage. No, why don't you say, like, I hire people to train people to run a business and I just make sure the books look good and increase in value all the time.
But Brian, that makes me have to trust somebody else to do the thing that I've been doing for.
Absolutely.
How do I do that?
Well, it's scary. So
It is scary, and sometimes you have to let go.
I
And
think,
letting go is
yeah. I mean, I can speak from my personal experience. I own a martial arts school. I can say the name because I own it, and it's a cheap plug. So I'm a school legendary Black Belt Academy in Richardson. When we started that, it was my dad's company. He had a very successful CPA firm that he got sick and was selling, but because his income was so great from that, he needed an actual write-off. So we literally started a business so he could lose money on a day-to-day business just so he didn't have to pay as much tax. And he was a CPA, so at that time I was not in the accounting world, so I just trusted him. But over time, I found out that when you're the one teaching the class, the company losing money isn't all that beneficial. Because
Yeah.
a labor of love is still not a labor of free.
Yeah.
And so, we transitioned after about 4 or 5 years. My dad sold his firm, and because he actually built it that could sell, and he had enough to put on top of his nest egg, like you were talking, and we turned it into a profitable business. And I mean, even today, I guess I've had that business for almost 20 years, if not more. And I can't even tell you the last time I stepped in the business.
No, but we were at your daughter's birthday graduation party,
Right.
And like there were 3 or 4 of the gentlemen there that all were like, "Oh my gosh, let's talk about black belts and martial artists."
Right.
It was actually seeing the other side of Wes Melton. Wes Melton, the black belt that could murder us all in our sleep, but has such a gentle laugh that it's like, "Oh hey, like I'm cool."
Right. So yeah, and so that's my, I see a lot of business owners, and I was one of those when I was in the school every day. You start getting scared, right? How do I pay my employees? If I take a step back,
Yeah.
and I lose 3 students today, man, that's going to hurt tomorrow. And I think to the cause, it's about being intricate, right? And massaging it. So don't try to be like, I've got to take 30 days off and prove this to myself. If you're in a business right now where you have to be in the battle every single day, man, sometimes you have to. But the goal is, and you hire a team to help you, is to build that structure so that you can step out for 1 day.
Yeah.
And then maybe in a month you step out for 2 days and you
Yeah.
get a weekend with your family. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
And so, every industry is different, right? Like I'm also in law enforcement. I've done law enforcement for years. I can't just leave law enforcement. I leave law enforcement. The government just doesn't keep paying me, right? But that's the business of owning. That's the perk of owning a business is you have the opportunity to build something that can create not only active income right now, but passive income, whether you sell it or transition it down or whatever your plan is.
So I know a lot of people are asking because they're hearing this, they're overworked, they're working hard, they're in the business every day, and they're going, well, that sounds impossible. How do I do that? Well, it's not easy. The honest answer is it takes 3 to 5 years. Like it takes meticulous planning in every aspect of your business, from finance to operations to tax planning to sales, making a sales engine. It is not easy, but it's something absolutely worth doing. And I think, Wes, your story is proof of concept of that. And I want to ask you, so you still own the karate school, correct?
Yes.
Why don't you sell it? Why don't you get rid of it?
So it's still labor of love to me. So the good thing about karate and taekwondo or any martial art is that I can change lives every day. Even if I'm not in that building, the entity that I create are changing lives every day.
Yeah.
So I could sell it. I could, I can sell it for pretty good money. I've got over 200 students. So,
There you go.
but I keep it because one, I don't need the money right now.
No, but it's generating
And it's
passive income.
generating
for you.
passive
Yeah.
income, and I'm changing lives every day. And so that is my passion, right? Like I got into law enforcement because I wanted to change people's lives, not because of the wonderful pay and the great benefits. I did the math the other day. Luckily, I have my other entities, including with KBM, that I don't have to. But if I would actually want to retire as a police officer at my age now, I would have to be there till I'm 73 years old to make the current income I am now today in 2026. And that would be 30 years later.
Wow. And let's just put that in context.
Right.
Like for someone who was working in the 1990s, so let's say that's 30 years ago,
Right.
it's 30 years ago, and they were making 100 grand, that's the equivalent of making 320 grand a year now. So, okay, so let's add 250 grand to retire. Like there's no way you're living the same lifestyle.
No.
And that again is why that bump of selling your business and getting that extra additive to what you've already saved is so important, because if inflation goes like it has the last 30 years, for the next 30 years we're not going to be able to live the same lifestyles that we're living now.
Right. No, that's a different conversation.
That is a very different conversation.
We love to digress.
Yeah. I can't imagine a world where inflation doubles.
Right.
That would be not a fun,
No, but it's important because every business owner is at some different level and some different step
Right.
of their process. If you just started, like we were talking before this, right? Like you worked for a big company and you got what, 3% annual raise if you met standards.
Yeah. Well, no, and like corporate career, like everyone signs up for it. They're like, hey, I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to roll my sleeves. I'm going to just crank out results year after year. And then you're told respectfully, like, hey, here's a 3% raise, and you are lucky to be here. Like you're replaceable. And so, like the concept of having a career that gives you a pension or gives you long-term financial security, that went away like in the 90s,
Right.
like early 90s. And it's just now, like it used to be a thing where if you job hop and you worked 2 years at a company, 2 years at a company, 2 years at a company, you were seen as like some kind of weird black sheep of the corporate world.
Yeah, it's like a vertical prostitute.
But
Doing
now-
anything
yeah.
to get a little higher.
Right, but now you look at it and say like, okay, 3%, 3%, 3%, or it's 22% by like leaving a firm and coming back in, or even going back to the same firm. Like my dad worked for the city of Austin. He's a land surveyor, and he left the city, went to private sector, and then the city recruited him back. And he originally left because he was asking for a 2% raise. So, and he'd worked there for 15 years.
Right.
And they're like, no, we're not going to give you 2%. Like, oh,
It's
what
way
are
too
you
much.
talking
It's
about?
not in the budget.
And so he left. And 2 years later, they're like, we'll give you a 25% increase.
Yeah.
And so, like,
And
what
here's
is
a
the
bonus.
lesson learned? Yeah. Like, yeah, title and all the things. It's like, hey, actually, we realized that we missed your skill set.
Right.
And so, it's one of those things that, your dad grew up in a generation where like you worked hard and you were rewarded for it.
Mhm.
Like we've grown up in a generation collectively where you work hard because everything else is growing exponentially. Like the cost of a burger used to be $5
Oh, yeah.
when we were kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's $15.
Right.
And so like, do we think that that's going to go down anytime soon? No. Like we're going to be paying.
I've never met anyone that says, give me all the money now, but in 10 years, I'll charge you way less.
Right.
Yeah.
No one. Right. And so we have So we're growing up
Right.
in this generation where $100,000 is like the equivalent of like minimum wage on a corporate level.
Well, and just life structure, right?
Yeah.
Family structure has changed. Like back in the day, you could work 100 hours a week to make that profit and make the money for your family.
Yeah.
That's all anyone expected out of you as a man. And if you're a woman with a job, people thought you were weird. Now everybody's working. Everybody's going through the
Yeah.
struggle.
Because they have
And
to.
We've got to all be
Absolutely
at
have to.
home in the battle plains of raising our children. They don't just let us come in and sit on the couch anymore like they used to.
Right.
And which is good. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But it just changes the dichotomy and the dynamic of what we're trying to accomplish in the ownership and the work.
So just to piggyback on that, in the state of Texas, for a family of 3 to live comfortably, like not struggling, still saving some, going on 1-2 vacations a year, live comfortably, it's 190K. So that's the new
190K.
190K.
It's so good that we make so much more money with that.
With my family of five.
With my 2 high school kids.
Yeah. Don't worry, they'll go to college. You get
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, it's looking up. Yeah.
You can see these are real podcasts because we're blowing each other's minds with our stories here.
I don't see you guys later. I'll be in Vietnam for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Let's bring it back. We've actually mentioned a lot of numbers here, and if you're like us, you're probably sitting on the other end of this going like, oh dang, that is a lot. I'm not there yet. I have this dream. I have this idea. I want to start a business. How do I do it? Well, the answer is you do it. You work your butt off in the business for as long as it takes to get established, and then you take the 3 to 5 years to really start to generate value. And that concept of value, of something that is worth something that you can sell, is what's so important to developing a business, and it's so overlooked.
Yeah, and it's growing a team. It's growing processes that are,
Replicable.
yeah,
Yeah.
replicable.
And taking risks that are not as big as they are scary, right?
Yeah.
Some of these risks people think you can't even fathom doing these just simple strategies that we come up with.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I can never do that. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, man, I really appreciate that because now I got to go see my kid for his birthday, or I got to go see the baseball game. And so it just changes lives.
One of stuff like, we had a client that it was really important for them to, like, when we talked about, hey, you don't have a company, you have a job. That really kind of resonated with that client, and then it led to us helping them develop. Oh,
No, we're letting the dog out.
Yeah.
It's all good. Something that highly resonated with one of our clients was the fact that we brought up, hey, you don't have a company, a business, you have a job. And he wanted to have a company because he wanted to be able to take 30 days off. And so it led him down the path of us helping him write an employee handbook, really getting his processes on paper so his staff below him could understand what's needed to grow in the company and allow him to take more time to work on the company and allow trust to be given and earned from his base. And so now he's growing his business exponentially, location by location, and he's able to take more time off. He just had a great 4th of July weekend not working.
But I don't think you know this because I talked to him yesterday. 4th of July weekend was his highest day of sales in his company of all time.
Oh,
all years.
Man,
So-
round of applause.
Yeah. So
if you're in the Austin area and you want us to give you some recommendations on fun things to do on the weekend, hit us up. Leave a comment.
but yes, no, you're exactly right.
Yeah. But that's a great use case of somebody that can really benefit from, or really benefited from us giving just a little bit of basic guidance and helping them grow their business.
So in future podcasts, we're going to wrap this up a little bit now. We will actually go into how do you make your business more replicable? How do you push leadership channels down the pipeline, leadership decision making, sorry, not channels, leadership decisions down the pipeline to free up your time to make your business more sustainable on your own without you. And when you can do that, you will have a business that is worth selling, that is worth value, that you can be proud of, and you can take 30 days off.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts, Wes? What do you think? What do you got?
You know, a lot of this is going to sound kind of scary, but again, I want to reiterate, it's not just something that we put on paper because these two went and got their masters, and I've had some practical application.
We got more degrees than a thermometer,
right?
It's
But that's not it. It's because we've taken all of our industries and all of our experience over the years, and we've actually applied these theories and these strategies, and we see them working every day. Even for KBM, as we're growing, we're a young fledgling company. Technically, we're 2 years in, a little bit more.
2.5.
yeah.
And so that's, we're growing with our clients, and it's kind of really cool and fun to see because we get to implement our strategies as well. So we're not just that big guy telling you, here's what you should do because that's what it says in a textbook. We're putting them in place ourselves.
We really do try to practice what we preach. I know I said in the last podcast, I always say it, cobbler's kids doesn't always have shoes. we really try to do it. And sometimes we mess that up. Sometimes we forget an aspect. Sometimes we have to revisit it, and then that goes into developing our own business. But we are confident in what we do with our clients. And if anything you've said today has really sparked interest, you said, oh my gosh, I can relate to that, please not only subscribe and comment, please give us a call. Please text us. We would love to hear about your business. We'd love to learn about your business and see if we could actually work together. This is our business, but this is what we do for fun and what we love doing. And we would love to do it with you. So,
Yep, we want to help you grow. We want to help you succeed.
and if this is no indication, we definitely have fun doing it.
Yes.
So,
Cheers.
cheers,
Keep
guys.
it grow simplified, right?
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.